defined as competition for superiority in the same field. This rivalry is for bragging rights in the fields, in the cities, and from border to border. In the state of Iowa, it's Iowa State and Iowa. The battle in the Cy-Hawk series from Hilton Coliseum tonight. Alongside Miles Simon, I'm Kevin Kugler. This is going to be such a fun night. Sold out Hilton Coliseum. Two teams that don't like each other, locking horns. And Iowa State maybe coming off, Miles, the most impressive win of the college basketball season at Purdue.
Yeah, for them to win at Mackey Arena in a hostile atmosphere against arguably the best team in the country is super impressive. And not only that, they did it by 23 points. A dominant performance for the Cyclone squad.
And for the Iowa Hawkeyes, we're still not quite sure what this new-look Iowa team is, but we do know they've gotten off to a good start at 8-1.
Yeah, they really have. And Coach Ben McCollum, coming over first year from Drake, has brought his star guard, Bennett Sturts. A lot will fall on his shoulders tonight if they want to pull off the road win in Hilton Coliseum.
Let's check out the starting lineups for these two teams in this rivalry matchup. And mentioned Bennett Sturts. The question for Iowa is who's that number 2 scorer? No such concerns for Iowa State. It all starts with Milan Momcilovic, and then it kind of spreads out from there for these Cyclones.
Yeah, Cyclones really have a balanced, talented roster from Momcilovic to Joshua Jefferson, one of the most versatile forwards in all of college basketball. But the head of the snake, Tamin Lipsey, who made his return to the starting lineup versus Purdue with 8 assists and 0 turnovers, he'll lead the way for that Cyclone team.
TJ Otzelberger in his 5th season as Cyclones head coach, his 6th time against Iowa. He played him once before he got to Iowa State. And for Ben McCollum in his 1st season as the Hawkeye head man, but he's an Iowa guy. He knows exactly what this rivalry means to this state and to this fan base, and it will be a hostile crowd here tonight at Hilton Coliseum. Tamin Lipsey will go to work for the Cyclones.
Let's see if they establish Jefferson down low on the first possession.
There's Jefferson, one-on-one against Cooper Koch. Momcilovic from the free throw line. Everything but the bucket for a prolific scorer who TJ Otzelberger told us earlier, the lights always green.
Always green. They want him, if he can see the rim, they want him to shoot 10 threes a game if possible. I would love to have that green light.
Right. That light didn't exist for too many players. Koch with 8 to shoot. Good defense. Maniau going to work inside, and he works his way in for 2, the transfer from Drake.
Yeah, great job by the patience. He gave a glimpse to the shot clock on the other end of the floor, used the big shoulder in his body to get all the way to the rim.
Is that what you expect to see from Iowa in the half court, using that shot clock and trying to control the tempo?
Yeah, they really want to take 20 to 25 seconds almost every possession, control the pace of this game, not let the crowd get involved.
Going to be hard to keep this crowd out of it. They were camping out to get in here for this one as Lipsey's shot won't go. Offensive rebound from Joshua Jefferson and the muscle to get that in.
Ken, we were talking before the game. That's a big emphasis for both teams. Defensive rebounding for Iowa. Iowa State, one of the best offensive rebounding teams in the country, especially with their size across the front line. You've got to put a body on them each and every time.
Cale Combs trying to connect with Tavion Banks on the backdoor cut and a turnover to Iowa State. It's Jefferson. Buchanan doing some work on the screen, and Jefferson just slithers to the rim. Can't get that to drop, and it'll belong to Iowa.
Now, one of the matchups to watch here as we come down with the Hawkeyes on offense is the freshman, Torre from France, guarding Bennett Sturts, one of the best guards in all of college basketball. Sturts averaging 18 a game. He can do it all. He can shoot the 3, put the ball on the floor, excellent passer. But Torre also had the assignment last game against Braden Smith, who may be the best point guard in the country. He hounded him. He has great length, great size, strength about him, and then look at that.
Buchanan with the steal and the flush. The president's getting involved early. Jefferson and Buchanan.
Love that.
Sturts around the screen, set, and then given right back to Maniau, who's got all 4 for Iowa.
Great job by Sturts using the pick and roll, getting downhill to his right hand, making the easy pocket pass to the hard roller.
Momcilovic. This is Torre, the freshman that Miles just mentioned, out to Jefferson for three, and the air ball caught underneath by Tavion Banks. New coach, but a lot of familiar faces to him in Iowa uniform. Several Drake Bulldogs coming with him to Iowa. Koch, a returner, his three is short, and the rebound to Blake Buchanan.
And the fact that he has that helps bring continuity to your program and your team right away. That helps them get off to this great start that they're having in the first month of the season.
It really helps you jumpstart your program, doesn't it? As Lipsey's three is off, and there's a rebound and a foul underneath. Jefferson trying to get to that one, and he was yanked down.
Again, there's the offensive boards. Jefferson coming down, crashing the lane. You got to put a body. But here's that bucket from the Hawkeyes. Sturts getting down to his right hand. Two guys commit to the basketball. Lipsey should have put his body in front, take a charge there, or verticality. Don't let Maniau just walk to the rim for the layup.
Sturts with his first personal. Maniau will get a breather, and the inbound into the backcourt to Momcilovic. Underhanded Jefferson, curling to the rim. Go, rebound inside, another offensive board, and muscling that through is Torre. The ball out of bounds, it'll stay on this end of the floor with Iowa State.
That physicality. If you listen to Coach Otzelberger in shoot-around today, he said the word physical, the team said the word, about 30 or 40 times. That's a mantra within this program, physicality.
That's been his mantra ever since he arrived in Ames. Isaiah Howard, just off the bench, Banks with the foul, his first.
Well, here he's playing with a sense of physicality. Banks against Jefferson right there, but a little bit too much. Fadeaway jumper coming.
Momcilovic, you can see it. There's the fadeaway, there's the two.
So he had about 2 or 3 of those shots against the Boilermakers the other night. He's a right-handed player, but he loves to get to his left and then bump fade off that right shoulder. And at his size, it's hard to contest, especially when you're shooting the fadeaway. It's a little bit like Kevin Durant.
Good comparison. Not quite as long as Durant, but that nice touch. Howard inside, dumps it down low. Banks blocked. Torre will start it up. Iowa State defending strong. Momcilovic looking for the shot. Instead, in the corner, finds an open three. That won't go, and the rebound for Iowa.
Now, if you're Iowa, let's see if you get Sturts an open look here.
Fulgaris will skip. Back out to Banks. Open three. Good ball movement for Iowa.
Great ball movement. I love what Fulgaris did right there. Spin baseline, double team came. Baseline drive, baseline drift, and then the extra pass for the wing three.
For Banks, his first three over the last 5 games. They'd love to get him going. Just 2 for 6 in limited volume so far this year. That 3 dies on the back iron, and Fulgaris with the rebound. Sturts yet to attempt a shot. Drop off to Banks. This is Koch in the corner. Back-to-back triples for the Hawkeyes.
Now, Koch doesn't get the assist. He gets the hockey assist on that. Because of the attention that he draws, 2 on the ball. He hits the roller in the short roll to the pocket, and then the help has to come, and then the weak side 3.
Momcilovic looking for his spot, swatted away by Howard. Ball loose on the floor. Howard persistent. They tie it up, and the possession arrow will give it to Iowa. Season, those are Big Ten ranks, but part of that goes back to the conversation we were having. They didn't have to learn all of what Ben McCollum wanted to do. So many of them brought that offense with them from Drake.
Yeah, they know his stuff. They know what the coach wants. Great job by Lipsey there playing the passing lane.
Lipsey with the steal, runs it up and in. That's now a steal in 104 of his 110 games played.
And literally in shoot-around, Coach Ben McCollum, this is what bothers Coach. One, it's an ATO. You don't want to turn it over. But he talked about Lipsey playing passing lanes and how he gets his steals.
Here's Howard on the drive with the left hand. Strong take from the Drake transfer.
Isaiah Howard is a guy who can really score from Plattsburgh, Missouri. Scored over 3,000 points in his high school career. Best game so far was against Grand Canyon, where he kind of broke out with 19 points.
A couple of games in double figures, 10 against Robert Morris. Joshua Jefferson banging his way inside, lost the ball. Sturts will go the other way. Doesn't have numbers, he'll back it up.
Too many bodies in there for Jefferson. If you got to bang 3 or 4 times, then you got to just come off the ball, kick it out to the perimeter, and let your teammates play a little bit more.
Oh, bump on Jefferson. His first foul on Iowa State.
Now there's been a lot of this already. We saw in a couple of the first possessions. Now that's a foul. Okay, he has 2 hands on him. But also Tamin Lipsey, the first couple of possessions of the game, put the ball on the floor and was body bumped a couple times. So, as a player, you're trying to find what you can get away with, in these first 7 or 8 minutes of the game on the defensive end of the floor.
And you're just asking for consistency, right?
Exactly.
They lead for the Hawkeyes. Howard. Cam Mannion back out on the floor. He had the hot hand early for Iowa. Sturts still looking for the offense. Hasn't had a shot yet.
Look at that defense from Torrey fighting over. He caused the turnover.
And then a pass down the floor, and that'll be a foul on Tavion Banks, holding up Jamarion Bateman and not allowing him to get to the basketball.
Phenomenal defense by Killian Torrey, though. He fights through multiple screens. Gets skinny over the top. There's one time, fights over. Second time, fights over. Buchanan in the perfect spot to deflect that pocket pass, and then that leads to the foul on the other end of the floor.
26th freshman to start a season opener at Iowa State. Since freshmen were allowed to start playing in 1972-1973 season.
Yeah, Torrey's a great story. I talked to his high school coach from Brewster Academy, Jason Smith, last night. Just said he's a high character, tough kid, excellent defender. NBA scouts have compared him to Dennis Schroeder already with his length and then his strength. And then you can see his quickness, the way he moves his feet laterally.
Talking with TJ Otzelberger, he said the thing that stands out the most is how consistent he is. And I said, is that surprising? He said, yeah, for a freshman, that's not necessarily the norm to have someone who's that consistent day in, day out with his work ethic and his play on the court.
Sturts has to be more aggressive.
Taken away, Torrey again, all over. Look at it, trickles out to Bateman. And then coming right back to get it, Koch knocks it away. And then it's a turnover the other way. That will not go on the highlight reel for either team. Timeout on the floor. Everybody exchanging turnovers. The then #1 team, Purdue, in their last outing in the Big Ten, but some early shooting woes for Iowa State. And give credit to Iowa's defense. They have been very good defensively, and Miles, they're controlling the tempo of this game.
Yeah, their attention to detail defensively. They've been in their gaps. They have shrunk their shell defense. Jefferson hasn't been able to get anything at the rim. And then besides them giving up the 4 offensive rebounds, their half-court defense has been excellent.
Until right there where Buchanan got free and got the easy 2. Good patience by Blake Buchanan underneath.
Good set out of the timeout by TJ Otzelberger. That's something they walked through that exact set at shoot-around earlier today.
Combs navigating the offense for Iowa.
For Iowa, I want to see Sturts get a look. They got to find him off the ball, set some screens for him, loosen the defender up that's guarding him.
Bateman on him, now picked up on a switch. Jefferson guarding, and the deep 3 falls. The shot clock was winding down, but Sturts gets it going from long range.
I like it. And that's a tough shot. He's shooting NBA range right there. Late contested 3, but you need that from Sturts. If they want to win this game tonight, he's got to get 18 to 20 points.
Active hands again for Iowa, tipping that one out of bounds, and Sturts getting going a moment ago.
Well, look at the pace that he plays with. Okay, the little setup, the hang dribble. Okay, and then he's shooting from 5 or 6 feet behind the arc. Now, that's a tough shot, and I'm sure Coach TJ Otzelberger, he'll live with those. But Iowa will need that from Sturts.
Iowa's made their last 4 shots. Jefferson lost that one out of bounds, tipped out by Koch with 8 on the shot clock. Sturtz, the transfer in from Drake, who was also with Ben McCollum at Northwest Missouri State. Jefferson on the drive against Koch, and nothing doing. Sturtz the rebound.
About the third or fourth shot he's missed just right at the rim.
Mannion turns the corner on Buchanan, blocked at the rim. Lipsey up the floor. Iowa State looking to run. Lipsey explodes to the rim.
Great job by Lipsey, just pushing the pace. Nobody stops the ball. He walks right to the rim.
Comes around the Mannion screen, gets it to Mannion. Sturtz, shot fake, step left, short on the three. Good box out, Buchanan. Long pass ahead. Lipsey gets free. One-on-one against Sturtz. Driving inside. Coming to help with Sage. Ball knocked away, and Iowa's got it. Here's Sturtz. Takes Sage. True freshman. He signed with Drake, but followed McCollum here. 9 to shoot. Combs on the move. Drop off in the paint. Mannion on the board. He's got 6.
Great job by Combs. I love that he played off 2 feet right there. He drives the ball. He sees the help defender. He goes into his pivot game, and then Mannion just goes with him and gets the roll and the soft touch around the rim.
Torrey just airmails that ball out of bounds. A turnover for Iowa State. Ben McCollum, you've got to be delighted with how this first half of the first half has gone.
Yeah, you hit me about a minute ago, and I didn't talk about it. The pace of this game. This is in Iowa's favor. Iowa wants to play this game like in the 60s. They at this point in the season, Sturtz is the only guy that averages double figures for them. They're not going to win a game that's in the 90s or 80s and 90s against this Iowa State team. And not only controlling the pace helps keep this crowd out of the game.
Harris with 9 minutes to play first half.
This is the guy they want to be more aggressive on offense.
Double team comes at him, and the extra pass to Koch. Shot fake, drive to the rim for 2.
Koch probably should have shot the 3, but excellent drive and finish.
And Miles, this is Iowa State's largest deficit of the season. Their previous was 5, now down 7 at home. And a kick ball.
Well, they play out of the post there. He's open for the 3. Excellent shot fake and drive, and good finish at the rim by Koch. He's a guy that they want to be the second guy on this team. He's like the prototypical Ben McCollum player. He's 6'8", he's versatile, can put the ball on the floor, shoot it, and an excellent defender. His dad actually played against him in the NCAA tournament in 1996. He was a great player, ended up having an excellent career for the Iowa Hawkeyes.
JR, part of Iowa's last Sweet 16 team.
That was an excellent team with Andre Woolridge, Jess Settles, Ryan Bowen. We played them down in Tempe.
Jess Settles, who of course played for Iowa for 12 years. Fulgaris inside for 2. And there's Fulgaris' first look at the bucket. And how about the Hawkeyes? 21-12 over Iowa State. They've made 7 of their last 9 shots from the floor, and they're getting some good looks.
Yeah, and you know how they're getting those good looks? They're just playing random basketball. Coach McCollum talked to us about that at shoot-around today. You don't want to run a set every time down the floor. They've worked on just their flow offense or motion offense, just passing and moving. You saw a beautiful cut there.
Momcilovic trying to get something going for this offense, and again a rebound for Iowa. 1 and done. Go the Cyclones. Sturtz on the attack. Lost the handle on it, taken away. Lipsey will start it up the floor. Long pass ahead to Dominic Nelson, and Nelson out of bounds. Another Cyclone turnover. Their 5th. Iowa has 7. Timeout on the floor. This capacity crowd begging for a reason to cheer, but Ben McCollum's defense stifling the Clones early. The Big 12's best scoring offense, Iowa State, who averages almost 95 per game to 12 points.
They're playing with physicality. They're playing with toughness after giving up those offensive rebounds early.
And Fulgaris again, right to the rim, and the Iowa Hawkeyes have a double-digit lead. And this crowd is in stunned silence at Hilton Coliseum.
Same ATO they ran before. Iowa defended it better. No lob for Buchanan.
In the corner, the three from Hawkeyes short starts the rebound. Iowa State 0 for 6 from 3. 6 of 22 from the floor. That's 27% shooting in the first half. The spin and 2 more.
And they're just living in the paint. And that's Coach Otzelberg. He's upset. I mean, they're just driving the ball in the defense. They're just cutting them. Same shirt.
I believe he cleans it.
I'm sure he does. Same shirt, same tie, black coffee, and a Snickers bar.
30 minutes before the game.
Staples for Coach McCollum.
Buchanan, double team comes, and a foul. It's the 4th team foul on Iowa. It'll be on Isaiah Howard, his first.
So right now, if you're Iowa State, okay, with the lineup you have on the floor, Lipsey and Momcilovic, they have to be the most aggressive guys. They have to get the shots. You have to look for them to be aggressive offensively.
Pass trying to get it into Buchanan, and Torres' pass is tipped out of bounds with 12 to shoot. Boy, the hands defensively for Iowa. It's got to feel like there's 6 or 7 players out there at times. They're in the passing lane almost every single offensive possession. 10 to shoot. And off Hawkeyes. 6 to shoot. Hawkeyes blocked off. Lipsey with 2 seconds on the shot clock. Blocked away. What a spike by Howard and a shot clock violation.
Excellent half-court defense by the Hawkeyes. They're swarming. They're in their gap. You see when Lipsey drove right there, 3 Hawkeyes around him. Sturt's in the gap, and then the help by Sage or by Howard with the block. Tremendous half-court defense by the Hawkeyes.
Isaiah Howard from the Big Ten Conference, arguably the nation's best volleyball conference. He's clearly been paying attention to what's happened on the volleyball court. That was a spike that would make anybody proud. 15 to shoot. Combs to work.
Well, you see they put Momcilovic back in the action right there.
Now 8 on the shot clock for Howard. 5 to shoot for Garris. Drops it off Sturts. A little bobble. Going to have to hoist in the corner, and the scramble air ball is a shot clock violation.
Now, great defense by the Cyclones. They're there on the back cut. They're swarming to the basketball. They're active in their gaps right there. But then, best case scenario actually for the Hawkeyes was a dead ball turnover, because an air ball that keeps Iowa State from pushing in transition.
But where do you go for offense here on the Cyclone side?
Lipsey and Jefferson.
Here's Jefferson on the drive. This time able to convert at the rim. 1 for 5 before that one dropped. And here comes this crowd. Combs fouled. That's Tamin Lipsey with the personal, his first, team second. A lot of officials here at Hilton Coliseum wanted a traveling call. They didn't get that.
A lot of them wearing red too. It's weird.
I think they would have gone with black and white stripes, but who's to judge their fashion choices? Combs. Double comes. Nice catch by Mannion, but it's taken away. Cyclones get the defense, and then it's taken right back by Howard. 2-on-1. Howard, the lob to Mannion.
What a spark Isaiah Howard has been in this first half. The back tap after the turnover, and then the touch pass lob. Beautiful job by Howard.
How about Mannion? 8 first half points already. His high is 12. The 3, that'll drop. Jefferson happy to see that one go down. The first made 3 of the first half for the Cyclones.
Jefferson, one of the most versatile forwards in the country. Almost reminds you a little bit of George Niang, Royce White. There's been some lineage of these point forwards or guys that can handle the ball in Cyclone uniforms.
Pretty good names in Iowa State lore. Mannion attacking. Mannion's shot no good. Momcilovic with the rebound.
Numbers should get an open three.
Jefferson's that open three. Got a good look, just pinballed out. You're not going to be unhappy with that look if you're TJ Otzelberger.
Yeah, he had just made one from the same spot. And then you see McCollum, let's slow it down. Let's get what we want on the offense. Continue to control the pace.
Mannion blocked off. 10 on the shot clock. Sturts to work. Drawing a lot of attention. Working against Momcilovic. Step back three for Sturts. Got it to splash down. Oh my.
That's tough.
Timeout. The new head football coach at Iowa State, Jimmy Rogers, introduced to the crowd. He was at Washington State a year ago. Spent a lot of time at South Dakota State. And he was at South Dakota State at the same time that TJ Otzelberger was the head coach at South Dakota State. TJ was there from 2016 to 2019. During that time, Jimmy Rogers was the linebacker coach and then moved up to the co-defensive coordinator right as TJ left.
Yeah, and TJ is the one, he vouched for this guy. When the athletic director called TJ, he said, yes, if you have the chance to get this guy, then you go and get him.
Blocking foul against Cale Combs. And Iowa State will inbound. 2:56 to go in the first half. Kugler alongside Miles Simon, our entire FS1 crew on hand in this Cy-Hawk series clash. Jefferson on the drive to the rim. A little bit out of control and a foul is called.
I love Jefferson's aggressiveness. He's gone to the rim. His shots didn't fall early. He missed a couple chippies around the basket. But he has stayed looking for his shot. He shot the three, he shot one in transition that he missed. And then right here, a beautiful go and catch. He gets downhill quickly and he draws the blocking foul.
Mannion, his first, 6th team foul on the Hawkeyes, and that'll send Jefferson to the line. And the first one good, 76% on the year at the line for Jefferson in the first free throw attempt of the game for either team.
He's such a tough matchup, and Coach Otzelberger does a great job of putting him in different spots to succeed. He's not just a power forward. He's going to roll to the basket all the time. They'll invert pick and rolls for him, let him handle the ball. We've seen him shoot threes. Just a super versatile player.
Opportunity for a couple of extra points there, and Buchanan just could not connect after getting the offensive rebound. And a turnover. 3-on-2. Driving Jefferson all the way to the rim, and he'll go to the line for 2 more.
Great read defensively. He's almost playing free safety right there. He's in the back line of the defense. He sees the pass coming to the middle of the floor, picks it off, and almost for a turnover for a touchdown. He goes strong to the rim. You see the ball handling, the strength. Now he's got to convert at the line.
Koch with his first foul sends him to the stripe for 2. Leading rebounder on this team, averaging almost 7 per game. He's hit double-figure scoring in every game this season and already 2 double-doubles. About to drop into double-figure scoring again, and he does with his 10th point at the line. He scored the last 8 points for Iowa State, and they're within 10. Sturts to work now against Torre. Mannion hustles to the rim. That shot's blocked. Jefferson on the move.
Buchanan's had a couple nice plays at the rim defensively, protecting the paint.
Lipsey on the drive off the window. Here come the Clones, blowing back to within 8. Sturts curls around the double. Banks with 10 to shoot.
Sturts is calling for it. He wants the ball back.
Banks can't get it to him. The pivot turnaround barely grazes the iron. We've got a whistle and a foul call. Rebound ended up with Cale Combs, and he gets yanked to the court, and a foul call.
Now that was good defense by the Cyclones. The ISO by Banks, contested mid-range jumper. You live with that if you're the Cyclones. Good job by Combs to get that offensive rebound. But Sturtz, he called for the ball, but he didn't work to go get it. He didn't work to go get it. He has to present himself to Banks a little bit better.
Foul was number 2 on Lipsey. He stays on the floor for the final 110. Here's Howard. Sturtz back to Howard. Contested 3 drop. Jefferson was right there, and it did not matter for Isaiah Howard.
Mentioned it earlier, kid was a big-time scorer in high school. Over 3,000 points. This is nothing new to him. His role is just a little bit different for the Hawkeyes right now.
Torre feeding it out to Jefferson. Good response.
Great job by Torre touching the paint. He drew 3 defenders. He played off the 2 feet, then he kicks it out for the 3 ball to Jefferson. He's the hottest player for the Cyclones.
Hawkeyes by 8, closing in on halftime in Ames, Iowa.
See, Sturtz is not working to get it. Giving in too easy.
There's Sturtz, 5 to shoot. Baseline fadeaway, won't go. Rebound pulled down by Heisey. 4 seconds and counting. Back up Jefferson, deep 3. Won't go. And halftime arrives. The Hawkeyes up 8 at the break over 4th-ranked unbeaten Iowa State. The fewest points in a first half this season for Iowa State by 10. They scored 35 against Syracuse and Purdue. They've got 25 on the board at the break at Hilton Coliseum. 33-25 Iowa after the break. We're back with first half stats and analysis. Impressive first half at halftime. She didn't drop a ball. Perfect night for Red Panda and a 33-25 lead for the Iowa Hawkeyes as we welcome you back to Hilton Coliseum alongside Miles Simon.
It's now, if it's Iowa, can you just sustain, like, hold off big runs, like 8-0, 10-0 runs where the crowd's going crazy, and then just be able to steady yourself on the offensive end and continue to find contributions from everyone on the floor.
Momcilovic, only 2 points in the first half, going to work early. In the corner, it's Torre. The runner rolls around and home.
Well, you see the idea by TJ Altenberger there. He wanted to get his leading scorer a bucket or a shot. Good defense by the Hawkeyes, and then I love Torre just being aggressive to get to his little floater.
Now, every time Iowa State crept closer in the first half, Iowa had an answer. Will they on this possession to start the second? Here's Sturtz trying to provide that answer. It's short, battling for his own rebound, and it ends up with Torre. Lipsey on the run. Torre in the trail position. On the drive. Inside. He'll go to the line for a pair.
Excellent job by the Cyclones on the defensive end. Sturtz has to shoot a tough contested 3. Then they get out in transition. They have numbers. Torre staying aggressive on the offensive end, splitting the defense and getting to the rim and drawing the foul.
And Torre with one more. 81% this year at the line.
So here's a guy, he's known for his defense. And as I mentioned earlier, I talked to his high school coach, Jason Smith at Brewster Academy. I said, how did you find this guy? And he said 2 of his players, Dwayne Aristote, who's at Arizona, and Noyes Indrusitis, who's at Pitt, they told Coach Smith about him from a Basketball Without Borders camp that they attended. So he brought him over, and his high school backcourt mate is Ibuka Okori of Stanford, one of the best freshmen in the country right now. And on the first day on campus in practice, Torre's picking him up full court, and then Okori looks over to Coach Smith, he's like, basically like, what is this guy doing? No one has ever done that to me before. But he hangs his hat on the defensive end. You've seen that tonight.
Inside, good find in there. The tip won't go off the miss from Banks, and it ends up with Momcilovic. Boy, Iowa got everything but 2 on that trip, and now attacking quickly. Jefferson, count it, and the foul.
That's a tough break for the Hawkeyes. You miss the chippy on one end, and then it's leading to a run on the other end.
And a timeout for Iowa. A minute and a half in to the second half. And the Cyclones on the move, back within 3 at home. In this one, an 8-0 run going back to the end of the first half for TJ Otzelberger's team, and they've got a chance to add to it at the free throw line here.
Part of the way that the Hawkeyes were hoping to stymie that run, they missed a little chippy, a little tip in. That way you can play, you get your defense set against this Hawkeye team, but those little things, that turns into a run starter or a continuous part of this run where Jefferson gets the ball and he goes downhill, and now it's an and one, and now it's a 9-0 run, and now Hilton Coliseum, and everybody's on their feet, and the crowd is into this game.
Jefferson scored 14 of the last 19 for Iowa State. He has been the spark on a night where Momcilovic hasn't been able to get it going. Who will be the spark for Iowa? Hawkeyes needs help, gets it from Howard. Howard turns the corner. His shot blocked, it's Buchanan again.
Third block of the half. Buchanan does a great job of just trailing the play and then timing those blocks up.
Torrey to Jefferson. Back cut to the rim. We're tied in Ames. And a kick ball.
This is great basketball here. Just the back cut against the overplay. Jefferson with the excellent bounce pass, the timing of it. Lipsey making the read and the beautiful finish.
Tie game at 33 apiece. Iowa's led by as much as 13 in this one. Hawkeyes turnover. Iowa State's last lead was 6-4. Looking for the lead with Lipsey. Clones on top. Timeout Iowa. 10 straight Cyclone points out of the locker room and a 2-point lead. Well, the fans have been waiting all night for a reason to cheer. They finally have one. The defense forcing the turnovers, and all of a sudden, Iowa State, once down by 13, has the lead.
Well, they've done it on the defensive end. They're getting stop after stop. They're turning the Hawkeyes over. They're contesting all shots. They're being themselves. That's who they are. They play with a physicality, a toughness type of mentality. They want to impose their will on teams. They've been doing that to the Hawkeyes since the end of the first half. They are now controlling the pace. They've turned this game around with that. And then Tamin Lipsey with the last 2 baskets. The last one, beautiful, big shoulder, stride stop, mid-range jump shot. You'd love to see that from your senior leader.
So now for Ben McCollum, who's had to use 2 timeouts in the first 2.5 minutes of this second half. Down to 1 remaining for the game. What is the adjustment? What can you do to get back on track here?
1, take care of the ball. Okay, you can't give these live ball turnovers to Iowa State. Then you have to find this guy, Bennett Sturts, find him a shot. Look at, they've ramped up the ball pressure.
And another turnover. Torrey to the rim. And the crowd yells, hooray for Torrey.
They blitz the ball screen. They put 2 on the ball, and Sturts, he has to get off of it a little bit sooner. Hit the roller like he was in the first half when he was hitting the short pocket.
Torrey with the foul.
But now here's the hard double team. Excellent hands by Jefferson. And then Torrey, you got 2 of your best defenders out there on the perimeter. And they get the steal and the easy basket. Now, one thing we have to watch with Sturts, he's an Iron Man in college basketball, okay? Led the nation in minutes played last year. Has played every minute tonight. So is he going to get worn down here in the second half? Having to do so much, having to guard, having to create shots on his own. Buchanan took a hard fall. Guy landed on his leg. He's coming up coming up limp. He's probably going to have to come out of the game.
Yeah, they've stopped the game now. Buchanan's going to have to leave this one. Blake Buchanan got tangled up under there battling for that rebound, and he got the worst of that exchange, so he'll go to the bench.
Buchanan's been so good. He's the anchor for them on the defensive end, protecting that rim. 3 block shots on the night.
To go 4 points and 4 rebounds. Second leading rebounder on the team, the leading shot blocker. We've seen why tonight. Jefferson, beautiful pass at the rim. Good defense, but a foul. Eric Mulder on the receiving end took it up strong, and the contact will send him to the line for 2.
How about Jefferson's vision? Okay, they run the ISO at the elbow for him. Combs is a smaller guy. Fulgaris feels that he has to help, but actually Combs has done a pretty good job. He's not beat. You don't want to uphill help in that situation. That allows Mulder to be behind the defense there in the dunker spot, and then a great pass by Jefferson.
Well, you mentioned some of the comps for Jefferson earlier, the George Niangs, the point forward
Royce
tradition
White
at Iowa State, and those kind of passes are why those comparisons are made. He is a versatile player.
And then not only is he versatile, then it adds versatility to your offense. Because now you're TJ Altenberg. You can put this guy in so many different positions around the court to have success, because you can put the ball in his hands and he can make plays for himself or others.
Hawkeyes without a point in the second half. This game has turned quickly. A bounce to Combs in the corner, finds Koch. That 3 won't go. Got a good look, and it's swatted out of bounds by Momcilovic. It'll stay with Iowa, 16:04 to play.
Now remember, in the first half, Koch got it almost that same look. There was a short roll to the pocket. He was open in the left corner in the first half. He knocked it down uncontested. But this half, Iowa State is flying around. They get back out to him, and he has to shoot a contested 3, a little bit harder shot.
Fulgaris, and that's a whistle and a foul on the floor. Eric Mulder with the personal.
The Iowa State coaches have said, that's okay. We like that. Keep playing. Keep playing with that physicality. We'll live with those fouls.
Here's Sturks. Just 6 points for Iowa's leading scorer. On the drive, Fulgaris. A swing to Sage, who drives in strong with that jumper. Rebound Mulder. And Iowa State will bring it up, and there's a whistle. And a foul on Tate. Sage will take us to the under-16 media timeout. A lot more smiles on the faces of those in Iowa State colors tonight, with a 6-point lead in the second.
Points. Don't let up, though. Don't let up, and then finish everything with 2 on the glass. Contest, blockout, runouts, a turnover or surrender. We finish either way.
Moment ago, TJ Otzelberger in the huddle with his crew, trying to keep the pressure on Iowa.
Yeah, I love he's talking basically keeping your energy up. The defensive pressure has set the tone here in the second half. Let's turn them over, be active in everything that we do, and then go ahead and get out and run and score.
Cyclones back to work with the 6-point lead, 39-33. Lipsey, that's off the foot of Cale Combs, and a kick ball, 20 on the shot clock.
So conversely for the Hawkeyes, they need to get a couple turnovers and find some easy basket. Everything's been so contested on their side on the offensive end this half.
Lipsey, oh, what a split, all the way to the rim. The follow is blocked away by Fulgaris. Good recovery by Fulgaris, but how about that first step quickness by Lipsey?
What a burst downhill. Splits, gets to the rim. Look at this, splits the double team, and then the contest at the rim. But I love Fulgaris not giving up on the play, not giving up the easy one.
10 to shoot for Iowa State. Momcilovic, he has been so quiet offensively, just 2 points in this one. Momcilovic fades away, 2 tough points there.
Same shot he made in the first half in the middle of the paint for his other bucket.
Watch out, he can get going in a hurry. Iowa still without a point in the second half. Combs will drop it off. And that'll end the drought. Emphatic two-hand stuff from Tate Sage.
That was big time by Tate Sage.
And a whistle and an offensive foul. Heisey with the charge.
Tate Sage getting the first points of the second half in an emphatic manner. Reads the overplay. Jefferson's lost, and that's how you go strong at the rim.
Now Iowa with a chance to string together back-to-back buckets. Down by 6. Outscored 16-2 in this second half. Sage on the run through traffic, counted and a foul. Tate Sage providing the answer for Iowa.
Love the energy, the freshman not scared of the moment. First the dunk on the backdoor, and then look at the physicality. Jefferson is not an easy guy to move. He's a big body, 6'8", 6'9", at 240 pounds, and Tate Sage taking it strong to the rim, getting the angle, keeping the Hawkeyes heartbeat alive here in the second half.
Second foul on Jefferson. Sage at the line this year, just a 61% shooter, and he's hard off the back iron. Momcilovic with the rebound. Tamin Lipsey. Here's Momcilovic. Like he was hunting, but he finds an open man down low, and that's Heisey, who's fouled by Fulgaris. Second on Alvaro Fulgaris.
Well, good job of Heisey just working the dunker spot or block-to-block area right there, cutting behind the defense. And then the pump fakes. When you're a smaller guard, pump fake in the paint. Bigs always want to block your shot.
Iowa State 8 for 10 at the line tonight. Iowa 0 for 1, now 8 for 11. Two leading scorers have been quiet tonight. Sturts with 6, Momcilovic with 4. Sturts working against Heisey, gets to the right elbow, and that's off. Jefferson, another rebound, his 4th. Jefferson on the run, end-to-end with a finger roll.
That was sweet. That was sweet. The ball handling, the dexterity, the footwork on the step through right there, and then the finger roll and the touch at the rim.
18 for Joshua Jefferson.
Sturts has to work so hard for everything that he does. Rarely just has open looks.
And a foul. He tried to split Heisey and Buchanan. It's Buchanan with the personal foul, his first.
Well, watch Jefferson at 6'9", the left to right crossover. They beat him to the spot, but then he takes that right-left step across the body of Fulgaris and then lays it in softly at the rim. Guy is such a good player. Transfer from St. Mary's.
Sturts will man the inbound to Fulgaris. Cooper Koch going to work. Extra pass into the corner. Shot fake for Banks. Drives baseline. Shot tipped away. Ends up with Buchanan. Cyclones looking to run. Torrey to Jefferson. Lipsey on the drive to the rim. And it's out of bounds. It'll belong to the Hawks.
Buchanan back in the game.
Right back out there. Good to see. Crowd watching it on the monitor. They believe that it should be Iowa State ball, and we've got a whistle. Maybe a contact lens out on the other end of the floor for Banks.
Oh, and his buddy Tate Sage finds it for him.
You always wonder. I mean, you splash a little solution on it over there. Is that really going to keep it clean?
I don't know.
I mean, think of what this floor has seen tonight.
You don't have a lot of options.
Have you worn contacts
I have worn contacts before.
Have they fallen out?
They have fallen out.
And then what do you do?
Well, usually it's not as much falling out as they get stuck, like somewhere in your eye, and you have to go searching for it.
But if it has fallen out, have you had a contact be on the ground before?
I've had a contact be on the ground, but most of the time they're those disposable lenses.
So, okay.
You just throw them away.
Gotcha.
I mean, if you're a germaphobe, you're not doing what Tavion Banks did there.
They put the cleaning solution on it.
Yeah.
He'll be all right. He's young. His eyes are good. Doesn't see like you and I now.
When he's wearing an eye patch next week, I'm going to remind him that you said he'd be fine. That's a foul as Banks drives in. Clearly the eye's working fine as he found his path to the basket and picked up the third foul on Lipsey.
So Banks just getting downhill, just gets tripped up by Lipsey there. I would love to see someone like, you got to really lay a body on the guy that is guarding Sturts. See how hard he's had to work now? Now, Torrey did a great job of fighting over both of those screens, the screen and the rescreen. But at some point, you almost have to get an illegal screen. Like to make the Iowa State defender know that you're there. Like put your body, like you almost have to put somebody on the floor and like get a foul on this. Sturts has to work so hard to get any shot or get any look.
Meanwhile, Momcilovic gets an easy look from three.
And that's because Sturts was, I don't know if he's tired or fatigued. He's played every minute of this game, something he's known for, but he fell asleep right there. That was his assignment. Momcilovic wants to shoot the three. You can't give that up.
Now Sturts will drop it off. Maniau on the run. No. Rebound and a whistle. We've got a tie-up. Possession arrow is pointing Iowa's direction, and it'll stay with the Hawkeyes. Well, you knew it was a matter of time. He's hit a three in 23 straight games.
Momcilovic doesn't need much room. On time, on target, knocks down the three, and the bench loves it.
To take an 8-point halftime deficit and turn it into a 10-point lead. Joshua Jefferson leading the way.
Well, America, if you want to see a guy that can do it all, play defense, shoot the ball, pass it, Joshua Jefferson is your guy. He has imposed his will on this game tonight for the Cyclones. He's the difference maker with 18 points, 5 rebounds. He's dropped a couple dimes, has been super aggressive all night for Coach TJ Otzelberger's squad.
Hawks just 2 of 11 from the floor in the second half, 0 of 3 from 3. Top pull-up jumper rattles home for Tavion Banks.
See, you're worried about his contact.
Yeah.
He is fine.
Maybe it should have fallen out earlier.
A little, literally it was like the 5-second rule, right?
Yeah.
Like Tate Sage found it really quickly. Banks' eyes are fine. He hits the pull-up jump shot.
This is a great example of why this is a problem. Look, now there's a little blood on the floor. The same floor that the contact was just on that went into the eye of Tavion Banks.
But was it in the same spot?
It was not. One little drop could pollute the whole floor. You don't know. You don't know where that floor's been, Miles Simon.
Oh, man.
Jefferson will work it back out. Momcilovic trying to find room on the baseline. Drawing a lot of attention, as you'd expect. Now Sturts, one-on-one with Momcilovic. There's that fadeaway. The touch not there this time. Still plenty of time for Iowa. Try to find a little offensive rhythm here.
Somebody's got to hit Sturts' guy. Stop slipping out of the screens.
Nice ball movement. A little bobble, though, through the paint. Still 12 to shoot for Sturts.
See how they slip out twice. You can't create an advantage if you keep slipping out against elite defenders.
Howard leaning in, threw up a dart with that shot clock winding down. We've got a whistle and a foul. Underneath, there was a little bit of jockeying for position for the rebound, and it's Milan Momcilovic who picks up the foul. That's his second.
And if guys are going to slip out, and Sturts knows that, he's got to be aggressive right away downhill with a quick burst or quick first step to take advantage of the slip out. He has to create the advantage.
7th foul against Iowa State in this second half. So free throws the rest of the way for the Hawkeyes. They have not made one tonight. There's the
first. Dropping through.
Banks is a guy who's the Missouri Valley Sixth Man of the Year, averaged 10 and 5 last year at Drake. They said he's their best defender, and that really he's a versatile defender. Can guard 4s and 5s if they need to, but they like him guarding the best perimeter guys. Now they feel it keeps him a little bit more engaged.
Brendan Hassan on the floor for the first time. 6'4" Kansas State transfer.
Now Hassan comes in, they're looking for offense from him. He's a guy, he had 30 points here when he played for Kansas State last year.
From the corner, Torrey to the rim, rolled all the way around the world and dropped off. 6-point game again, halfway through the second half. Here's Hassan. And now 12 to shoot to Sturts. Sturts around the screen, drops it back to Mannion. Extra pass to Sage. Sage muscled that through the defense. And here come the Hawkeyes now. They're not done. A 4-point game in 8.
Great job by Iowa. Multiple guys touching that ball. Basket cut, short roll, drop off, good finish.
6-0 run. Momcilovic able to save it for the Cyclones. With more intensity on the Iowa defensive end now. Jefferson stripped out of his hands. That was Howard who got it away. Remember the spark he had in the first half. Sturts will launch from 3. Good look. There's Howard again.
Howard's been so accurate. What a good game for him.
Sage. Shot clock down to 10. Sturts will drop that one off to Mannion. 4 to shoot. Deep 3. With that shot clock winding, it ends up with Sage. They miss, and then the tip by Mannion.
Iowa State watching the action. Iowa dictating the action right there. 2 guys flying to the rim at the end of the clock, not giving up on the play.
8-0 run for Iowa, and a timeout. Iowa State looked like they had taken control of this game, but the Hawkeyes keep battling.
Well, the deep 3 and then Sage active. Mannion cleans it up.
Off the inbound, a reach-in foul on Bennett Sturts. Momcilovic trying to drive off that inbound. Sturts picks up his second, 6th team foul for Iowa, so Iowa State will inbound on the baseline. 8:18 to go in the second half in a 2-point game.
So right now, if you're Iowa, let's see if you can make a run.
That will hurt your run if Momcilovic gets it going.
Sturts gets caught up on the screen. Momcilovic gets the open look. But right now, if you're Iowa, there's no Jefferson, who's been the best player on the floor tonight for either team on the floor, and no Buchanan, so no real rim protection. Iowa needs to take advantage of that right now.
Here's Howard trying to work inside. The drop off to Mannion. 10 to shoot. Sage threw it away. Ben McCollum turned to his team, put his hands down and said, "Calm down." Milan Momcilovic trying to heat up for Iowa State.
Comes off the down screen, Sturts get hung up. Easy work.
TJ Otzelberger says his light is green, green, and greener.
Well, he's done a great job of being patient. Hasn't really forced the action. Here, that's his patented move. He gets to that right shoulder, a little fadeaway, and at 6'8", that's hard to guard. And then if you go under those screens off the ball, as Sturts does twice there, Momcilovic makes you pay.
8 points in the second half after a 2-point first half from Momcilovic, but you know he's going to hunt his shots. TJ Otzelberger has told him, go hunt threes, go hunt shots, be as aggressive as you can be. There's no such thing as a bad shot for him.
Yeah, and I love that. If he can see the rim, he's supposed to shoot the ball. And the great thing is, all his teammates know that.
Yep.
And they look for him, and they're running set for him. Even though he was quiet in the first half, you remember the first play of the second half was a post-up for Momcilovic. He didn't get the shot, but that sparks confidence in you as a player when your coach does things like that for you.
Lipsey trying to probe inside, forcing that shot up. Tough one to deal with, and the rebound to Mannion. the defense by Iowa. It really wasn't a great look for Lipsey in there. Now Tate Sage. Hawks within 5. Each team has had a double-digit lead in this game. Wow, what a lift he's provided for Iowa. 5 to shoot. Working against Lipsey. Howard, 2 to shoot. 1 to shoot. Fades away for 2.
and it was just a broken play. They tried to run the ATO to get the lob. It wasn't there. But Howard, he loved the composure right there. He didn't feel rushed at any moment, even though he fumbled the basketball.
And a drive and a foul. Torre fouled by Maniau. Second on Maniau, and free throws coming.
Well, hard drive. He's great at the go and catch. Now Sturts, here's where you may run into like a conundrum with Sturts. He's not necessarily a great defender. Okay, Momcilovic has hurt him for 2 threes. Right there, a poor closeout, no angle. He doesn't like chest him up on the closeout. He gives him the angle on the drive there, and they're attacking Sturts on the defensive end. Now, this is a guy who's played the whole game, and if you're going to be able to do that like Sturts, you got to play both ends all the time. Teams are going to like pick on you and go after you because they know you're so good offensively, and they're going to make you work on the defensive end. And Iowa State has done that multiple times in the second half.
And that work on the defensive end saps you on the offensive end, right? It's a little harder to get that look or to get that shot up if you're a little fatigued from all the defense.
Yeah, and I know he's an Iron Man. He wants to play every minute, but maybe sometimes going out and getting a little refresher, catching your breath. And I know there's a lot of timeouts been in these games, but still, Sturts, you might need a little bit of a rest. Howard
trying to go baseline. It's poked out of his hands. Going to stay with Iowa. 8 to shoot. 6:25 to play. Returning is Tavion Banks for the Hawkeyes. Joshua Jefferson for the Cyclones. Sturts tonight just 6 points for Iowa on 2 for 8 shooting. Came in averaging almost 19 a game. Inbound, stop, drive, Banks for 2.
And conversely for Iowa, this is a super positive game for them. Whether they win or not with 6 minutes left, you're taking a top 5 team on the road down to the wire with your best player not having his best night.
Buchanan got the defense in his direction and dumped it to Lipsey for an easy 2.
If you're the Hawkeyes, you don't need the help right there. Make Buchanan score that over the top.
4-point game. Sturts against Heisey. Won't go. Rebound blocked away by Buchanan. And it's out of bounds to Iowa State. Blake Buchanan has been a major problem at the rim for Iowa.
His timing on the defensive end of blocking these shots. He's the second guy off the ground, and then he's keeping them in bounds at that. Look at there, he battles for the rebound, then he waits a quick second jump. Excellent job by Buchanan anchoring the paint.
Lipsey rewards Buchanan, and a foul call. A little push as he rolled to the rim. It'll go on Isaiah Howard. For Howard, his second.
Well, it's a good set. They ran that in the first half for the lob for Buchanan. It's a hard set to guard because Momcilovic is on the left wing. You don't want to leave a shooter to tag the big right there. You get the throwback to the shooter. And Buchanan's such a good roller, and he has excellent hands.
One more for Buchanan as he hits the front end. Buchanan has not been great at the line this year. 9 of 19 in the early going. 2 for 2 on that trip. 55-49. Iowa State by 6. Iowa State won in football. They won in wrestling. They won last night in women's basketball, looking to sweep the Cyhawk series.
That was a great game last night, that women's basketball game, too. Audie Crook, she's amazing. She had 30 and 10
rebounds.
She's a force.
5-point game, too. 74-69. Step back 3 for Banks, and he splashes it home. What a shot. for Tamin Banks, and what a big three for Iowa.
And to shoot it with the confidence that he did as the guys go under the screen. He's only made 2 threes on 6 attempts all season coming into tonight.
Lipsey slipped, and a whistle and a foul. Iowa wanted to travel. They thought he slipped without assistance. The officials say no, got a little help as Tamin Banks gets his third.
Well, Lipsey with the hard drive there. I don't know, that looked like a lot of ball. I know he slipped.
1-1 coming up for Tamin Lipsey.
Lipsey's a guy I got to talk to at shoot-around today. He got married this summer to his wife, Samantha. He's an Ames native. He's lived for this rivalry. He told me that he hates the Hawkeyes. He loves playing in this game. But I asked him, I was like, has marriage, he's so young, has marriage changed you? He said it's made me more mature and realize there's more to life than basketball. I love that perspective from this young man.
He's battled injuries early in this season, came back against Purdue after being out 3 games, and that's after he'd had the MCL sprain on September 23rd that knocked him out for most of the preseason. On the run, and the floater drops for Cale Combs. Iowa finding answers right now, down by 3.
So many different guys contributing for the Hawkeyes. This bodes well for them going forward as a group.
Do you need a designated second scorer going forward, in your opinion?
I don't know if it's designated, as long as you are having guys play aggressive night in and night out. I think teams, you want that, and you maybe want to establish that, but the way the balance has been tonight, that's what you love to see.
Oh, what a find. Lipsey, but it won't drop for Mulder. My goodness, just hanging tantalizingly on the edge of the rim, but it wouldn't fall. Combs, turnover, Torre on the run, end to end, and Torre's fouled. Combs reaching in, he thought he got all ball, but Richwell's trailing on the play, says nope, got a little bit of body.
Torre aggressive to the rim, once again attacking between the 2 defenders.
Back the other way, Iowa outscoring Iowa State by 7 with Torre at the line. And he adds 1 more to the Cyclone total, 58-54, 3:32 to go in the second. Now remember, if it gets down close to the end, remember that Ben McCollum had to use 2 timeouts in the first 4 minutes of this second half. So he's down to just 1 timeout for the remainder of this game. Fulgaris will enter it inside to Banks. In the block. Good position early, and Banks with an easy 2.
Great set out of the timeout. Ben McCollum recognizing Banks has the smaller guard on him, dives him to the post, gets the easy lay-in.
Now Lipsey will go to work for Iowa State. Whips that up top to Jefferson. 4-3. What a bucket.
That's tough. That's tough. That was good defense by the Hawkeyes. Jefferson just better offense on the catch and shoot. Such a good player.
.15 to shoot for the Hawks. Fulgaris into the paint. Tough hook. Bounces around and off to Jefferson, and Jefferson fouled. And will march to the other end for free throws with 2:33 to play. How about the night for Joshua Jefferson, Miles?
Well, they run the double drag, and then they dive Buchanan to the rim. 2 guys go with him just briefly, and that gives Jefferson just enough time to show the deep range on the 3-ball. And then on that other end, we talked about Sturts, okay? On that end, 3 minutes left in the game, 2:45. He stood in the corner for the whole possession. Your best player did not touch the ball, didn't set a screen, didn't move the whole possession.
That's the time he needs to be more aggressive.
Of course. Right? You want the ball in his hands. He's so good. He can do everything. He can pass. He can shoot the ball. He's one of the smartest guys out there on the floor.
6-point lead for Iowa State. Sturts starts it up on the bounce. Back cut and a 2-hand stuff from Tate Sage. Timeout, Iowa. Hawks will use their final timeout.
Beautiful action, using Iowa State's aggressiveness against them.
Outstanding coach, Iowa native, born in Iowa City, raised in Storm Lake. Iowa through and through. This game means an awful lot to him.
Same action, double drag, but they lift Jefferson this time.
It's Lipsey. Find room, back out it goes to Jefferson. On him quickly is Banks. Jefferson spinning into the corner. Lipsey for three, and the rebound Sage. They got the stop. Now let's see what they drew up on this last timeout. Fulgaris will back it out to Sturts. 15 to shoot.
They got the matchup they want right there.
And Sturts over Momcilovic with a three. What a bucket!
They hunted that. Said it in the first half. This was a point of emphasis in shoot-around today. They want to put Momcilovic in the actions. They get the switch right there. Just a little hard dribble and a little step-back separation three for Sturts. And that's why when I talked about a couple of possessions ago, he was almost resting. You don't want him just standing in the corner. He needs to be involved.
1 point game in Ames, and the ball poked free. Cale Combs had it, lost it. Iowa State finding Heisey for two in the scramble.
What a bad break for the Hawkeyes.
Sturts down three.
See, they're not trying to switch him. He just hard hedged that time. They don't want to switch Momcilovic onto Sturts.
He'll drive past Heisey, and a foul call. Chance to score with the clock stopped and 1:04 remaining in the ballgame.
Well, Combs just pursues from behind, gets the back tap, and they just don't come up with the loose ball.
How did that get through Fulgaris?
Combs can't believe it.
To the line of Sturts. As you might imagine, an outstanding free throw shooter. 2 point game. Iowa no timeouts. Iowa State 2 timeouts. Sturts 1 for 2, and the rebound Momcilovic. Under a minute to go. What a finish in this Cy-Hawk series.
I got to put the ball in Jefferson's hand. Let him create for himself or his teammate.
He's lurking on that right block on the baseline.
They're going to pin down for him, bring him to the top.
Here he comes. Lipsey on the drive, a little skid, gets it to Jefferson, fakes the three on the drive, the dish in the corner, Heisey's three won't go, rebound loose, who's got it? Tie up, possession arrow, no timeout. Buchanan at the bottom of the pile before the tie-up, got a timeout, and the Cyclones keep the possession. What a play again by Blake Buchanan.
Mr. Energy, Mr. Effort, physicality. Offensive boards, remember it was hurting the Hawkeyes at the beginning of the game. Cyclones are always going to send multiple guys to the glass. Look at 3 guys in the paint there for the offensive rebound. And first to the floor usually wins. Banks is battling, and Buchanan gets on the ground. And then smartly the Cyclones call timeout.
Officials are going to go to the monitor to check the clock to make sure that it is correct at 32.9 seconds.
Down against a smaller defender, and then let him make the pass or the shot.
Cyclones leading under 5 minutes this year. They've won 28 straight games overall. They're unbeaten this year when leading under 5. And they're 95-8 under TJ Otzelberger. Inbound to Jefferson.
And there's the ISO.
To work. Steps through. A lot of traffic. Couldn't get that shot in, and it's out of bounds. It'll stay with the Cyclones. Iowa waving to challenge. They don't have any timeouts.
Can't do it. Can't do it. Can't challenge.
And now we got a shoe that's untied. The crowd does not like that.
I think they're giving a delay of game.
I think they are. A delay of game warning has been issued.
Is that like when the football player goes down with the injury?
Exactly. In it comes to Jefferson.
Take your time. You don't want to go until there's about 4 or 5 on the shot clock.
About a 6.5-second difference between game and shot clock. Jefferson with 5 to shoot. Now he'll go to work inside, leaning, no, but a foul. 9.1 seconds to go. Jefferson, who tonight is 5 of 7 at the line, will go to shoot 2. Fulgaris with the foul.
And that wasn't bad defense. Jefferson has been the man tonight. They went to him, the ISO. Fulgaris does a pretty good job of moving his feet, but Jefferson playing off of 2 feet, he draws the contact off the left arm of Fulgaris. So now if you're Ben McCollum, there's no timeouts. You have to have your end of game play that you've worked on in practice, like full court play to go attack quickly and try to score, whether you're down 1 possession or 2.
Big second free throw coming here. 9.1 seconds to go. Still a 1-possession game pending this free throw. Buchanan returns for Iowa State. Momcilovic heads to the bench. Jefferson with 23 points tonight. The Cy-Hawk series hanging in the balance. Iowa State's unbeaten record in the balance.
Full court pressure coming.
And a 4-point game. Sturtz will push. 6 seconds. Launching the 3. It's off. Rebound picked up by Sage, and that's a travel. Turns it over to Iowa State, and the Cyclones look like they're going to escape an upset bid from their in-state rival.
What a great basketball game. Pleasure watching this in-state rivalry. 2 very, very good teams. Iowa State, national title contender. Iowa going to be a force to reckon with in the Big Ten in Ben McCollum's first year.
And the Cyclones survive. They bounce back from 13 down in the first half, down 8 at halftime. They outscore Iowa 41-29 in the second half and win it 66-62 in Ames to move to 10-0 on the season. The Hawkeyes fall to 8-2 with the loss. For Miles Simon.
But at the end of the day, we all know it's a Cyclone state.